Yo people, I'm back. A better angles. You can see my chest, hopefully. Landscape upgraded, innit? What I want to talk about today, you see this video, this camera follows me. Did you get it? Listen, I've upgraded, Guys, this follows me, so I'm not getting cropped, you get it? But basically, what I want to talk about today is how to take control of your life. It's a bit of a big topic, and I'm not saying that watching this however long YouTube video, you're going to switch on and it's going to be the thumbnail. I'm not saying watching this 15-minute YouTube video is going to change your life and all of a sudden you're going to be waking up at 5 a.m, cold showers, 100 push-ups, one hour meditation, all in due time. But basically, I want to give some people some tips that if you feel like you're not in control of your life and things don't happen the way you want it to happen, I just want to give you some tips and know that that's not how you should be living life, and that's not how you have to live life. Like, you can take complete control. Like, for example, every single thing that happens in my life, day to day, week to week, month to month, I feel like I've more or less got control of. Like, of course, some things happens that completely out of my control. If someone dies or COVID or the government, that stuff, like, that's out of my control. I can't control the big macro. But on a day to day, what happens in my life, my schedule, who I spend my time with, my family, my interactions, my business meetings, I feel like I'm all in control. Steps is steps. So what I want to talk about, the first things first, which if you know me, you already know I'm going to say, it's all about mindset. Like, the first thing you need to know, you need to believe that you can take control of your life. First things first. Like, if you don't believe that you can control everything in your life, you don't believe that you can be that guy, like, it's not going to happen. You need to believe, you need to believe you're the head, not the tail. You need to believe you're that guy. You need to believe you control things, things don't control you. You need to believe you can chop life and life doesn't chop you. You need to believe, first of all, that's the first thing. Like, you need to know that, honestly, from the bottom of your head, you need to believe that, right, like, what happens in my life, I've got control of. I'm saying it all colloquially, but if we want to go into like an actual psychological term, there's a thing called locus of control. There's two types of locus of control. There's internal and there's external. So an internal locus of control, those are kind of people that believe that the things that happen in my life, I've got an influence over. They believe, if they're not in a situation, they can change it. For example, if their job, they don't like their job, they can change it. Circumstances, they believe they've got influence over their environment and what happens in their life. People with an external locus of control, they believe that things happen to them. They believe they can't really control the big things. Life just happens to them, things happen to them, and they just have to roll with the punches. And, they feel like you hear these people talking about, it's not my fault, this happened, or I can't do anything, this, or the government, or etc., etc. So if you kind of get what I'm saying. So what I'm telling you to do is to not have a locus, you can't just have it. You need to get closer towards an internal locus of control. So you need to start to realize that the things in your life, whatever happens to you, you've got control over. Like, if you don't like a situation you're in, you can change it. If you don't like the way something happened or something's happening, you can change it. You've got influence in your life. Let me give you an analogy right now. So basically, for some people, let's say your life is like a ship, and you're in a storm right now, and you're like, man, I'm so upset I'm in the storm, man. Like, I wish things could change. I wish it could be different, but it can. What I'm trying to say is, you're the captain of the ship, and you're standing right in front of the wheel. The wheel's right in front of you, and you're there like, man, I wish I could get out of the storm. Bro, like, put your hands on the steering wheel and get scurried. Like, you're completely in control. So that kind of leads on to the next thing. Let's just call it personal responsibility. It's similar to the first thing, but it's also different. With personal responsibility, it's just taking responsibility for everything happening in your life. Cool. The way I think of personal responsibility is, I think of an extreme scale. So I think anything that happens in my life, my fault. If I'm going somewhere and I'm late, doesn't matter if there's a traffic jam, my fault. If I'm going out and I leave and my mum stops to talk to me for an hour, it's my fault I'm late. I should have anticipated it. If I'm having an issue with my friends, business partners, relationship, we get into a big argument and I feel like they were being out of control, my fault. I must have said something that pissed them off. Like, that's the way. I take 100% responsibility for every single thing that happens in my life. I lose money, my fault. Bro, someone steals from me, someone lies to me, someone deceives me, my fault. That's the way I view it. And obviously, it's an extreme method, but the way I think of it, it helps me. Because when I look at every issue, every problem is my fault, then I'm the only person that can fix it. If I have an argument with someone and I say, do you know, it's my fault, I'll talk to them and I say, do you know what, I did this, that. When you do that, people reciprocate. Let's say I'm having an issue with my partners, I'm like, do you know, bro, I apologize because I said this, it might have made you upset, this, that. Then when you do that, people naturally, even if they weren't in that mindset, when you come forward and be like, oh, I was in the wrong here, people like to acknowledge their wrongs as well. Let's say I'm late. If I take complete responsibility when I'm late, I don't blame the trains, I don't blame traffic, next time I go out, I'm not going to be late again because I'm not trying to blame myself. I'll go in an hour early. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So personal responsibility is anything that happens in your life, the good, the bad, the ugly, 100% your fault. You start adopting that mindset. You get somewhere late, so sorry, it's my fault. You get into an argument, sorry, it's my fault. You lose something, you get bad grades, my fault. Don't blame your teacher, don't blame your lecturer. It's your fault, 100%. Your fault. Your life, everything happens in your life, your fault.
So I just wanted to clarify this last part of the video and I want to remind people that this is a mindset that you should adopt. So I don't want you to go out into the world and announce that you think you're to blame for everything that goes wrong. It's just something that you should keep in your head and it should manifest in your actions. Take responsibility and analyze it yourself. Be like, okay, maybe I did something wrong here. Maybe I'm responsible for here. Maybe I can make a change in my behaviors that will change the situation. But don't go out into the world and every time something goes wrong, be like, sorry guys, it's my fault. That will make you a doormat and it will make you a scapegoat for situations. People just pointing things at you. Like, don't get me twisted. It's personal mindset. Take responsibility and let that show in your actions that you take responsibility. You know what I'm saying? Don't let everyone know that you think, oh, it was my fault. Do you get, like, I want to clarify that so people don't get confused. Take responsibility in your head. Like, when things happen, think, do you know what, maybe part that was my fault. But you don't need to announce it to people. It's your personal mindset to help you deal with situations.
Cool. So I've talked a little bit about mindset. Let me give you some practical tools on how to take control of your life, innit? So this is an exercise and it's quite fun. So do it while you listen to the video, grab a pen and paper, or at the end of the video, go back, re-listen and do it. But it's quite fun. So like, I've watched YouTube videos and they say do this and I was like, yeah, man's gonna do it. Then I don't do it. Like, just do it. Like, it's fun anyway, innit? Cool. So grab a pen and paper and then, okay, before you grab pen and paper, close your eyes and think. Think of where you see yourself 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, long term, whatever's long term to you. Be like, where do you see the ideal version of you? So let's say I was doing it me for the example. 3 to 5 years time, look, let's say I wanna push, I want a specific new Rolex, I wanna be a millionaire. Like, let's say that's the example. Going on with the exercise, let's say I see myself in Dubai, 3 years, I'm with my friends, I'm driving the motorway in a Porsche, I've got my brand new Rolex, I'm going to eat seafood in Dubai. Imagine yourself, get yourself in the lifestyle, like imagine it, smile, enjoy it. This is your ideal life, day to day. So cool, once you've done that, list those 4 things. I'm like, what do I need to do to get there? So that's my long-term goal. That's what I want to be. That's my ideal life. For you, it could be something different. This is just an example anyway, it's not my actual ideal. But for you, it could be something different. Maybe it's harmonious relationships. Maybe you see yourself in a loving relationship with your boyfriend or girlfriend. Maybe you see family time, you're in Canada on a river and everyone's smiling. You know what I'm saying? Whatever is ideal for you, just list that down. Cool. Once you've listed it, the next thing I want you to do is think how you get from where you currently are to your ideal. That is the tricky part. That's the actual exercise. Cool. You don't have to start thinking, is it possible or can I? None of that, innit? Just what you'd actually do. So let's take my example. I'm in Dubai, I'm driving a Porsche, I've got $1 million, I just got a brand new Rolex. So this is quite a materialistic lifestyle, so we can say, do you know what, for this, I'm gonna need some money. I want $1 million and I'm in Dubai and I'm doing lifestyle, I need $1 million. So I think, okay, how am I gonna get $1 million? That is more or less it. How would I get $1 million? So now, cool. If you're aiming high, which you should be, in fact, wherever you did aim high in it, I don't care what it was, just wherever you put, aim higher, because you can do it. So let's say I did 100,000, make $1 million, did $1 million, make it 10 million. So once you've written down the processes and you've put your ideal goals, where you see yourself in 3, 5, 10 years, your ideal life. Then you've made the processes. Maybe you need to make X thousands of million. Maybe you need to find a person. Maybe you need to rekindle relationships. Maybe you need to work on this. Maybe you need to get this job, start this business. Wherever it is, write it down. Cool. So now you've got the goal and you've got what you need to do. But you're still in the present right now. So take the process and it's an exercise basically called chunking. So let's say I wanted to make $1 million. I know I need to do X of this many times or this to get $1 million. So let's go with YouTube. So let's say to make $1 million, let's say I need 1 million subscribers. Cool. First thing, I'm on the road to 1,000. That's it. Get 1,000 subscribers. And then, cool. How can I get 1,000 subscribers? Now that's not, it shouldn't be difficult. Like if I'm trying to make £1 million and 1 million subscribers, aiming for 1,000, it shouldn't be difficult. Like you can do that. So cool, let's say to make 1,000 subscribers, I'm gonna make a video every week for a year or for 3 months, 6 months. Cool. Then hopefully in 3-6 months time, I've done that and I'm like, cool. Now from there to there, make the next plan. If it's a loving relationship, let's say you're completely single, no one likes you, you're a fucking loser, you've got nothing. Yeah, I can't say that, but I said it. Cool. So what's the first thing you need to do if you want to be in a loving, harmonious relationship in 5 years and you're absolutely single, you've got no links, nobody likes you? Maybe you need to work on yourself first before you start thinking about anyone else. Maybe you need to start going to the gym. Maybe you need to start getting personal hygiene, haircuts, take care of your teeth, take care of your eyebrows, you know what I mean, your beard. Maybe that's what you do first. Start going to the gym. That's your first stage. So your first stage, you just work on yourself. Make yourself more attractive, and whatever that is for you. Maybe it's for you, it's nicer clothes. Maybe it's different colognes. Just up-level yourself a little bit. Once you do that, maybe the next stage is you start going on dates. Maybe you start using dating apps. Maybe you start approaching people. You start going to events. You get what I'm trying to say? Let's say your thing is something quite difficult, actually. Harmonious relationships with your friends, family, loved ones. You might not know how to get that. Because if you did, you might have already done it. Same thing with $1 million. I might not know how to make $1 million. Make your plan. But the next thing you want to do is research. You want to find out how you can do your goals. You want to study. You want to learn from people. You want to see people who've done what you've done and study what they've done. Maybe you start watching relationship coaches if relationship. Maybe you start reading wealth books. Maybe you start reading books on relationship, communication. I've gone about it in a long way, but first thing you want to do is set your goals. Think of yourself, your ideal life in 3 to 5, 10 years. The next thing you want to do is think of how you're going to do it. Make a plan, a rough sketch. Like, it doesn't have to be pinpoint this, that. Make a rough sketch. Like, if it's, you want to be in a certain lifestyle, maybe you need X amount of money. If you want to be with this kind of person, maybe you need to work out or like up level your skill or your game or your, up level yourself. If you want to have this kind of relationship with your family, maybe you need to spend more time with your family, work less, study less, etc., etc. So make a rough plan. Then after you've made the plan, the next thing you should do is research. Find out how you can do it. Read books, listen to people. If you know someone that's been in a long relationship for a long time, ask them how they did it. If you know someone you feel like is good at making money, they've got a lot of money, they're a business person, ask them how they did it, ask them how they get started. So that's the kind of like 3 stages to it. So first, you get your goals. Second, you make your plan. Third, you research. And then the 4th bit I'd say is you start chunking it. You break everything you got down to an actionable step you can take right now. I want to be a millionaire. Maybe the first thing I'll do is make £1,000. Figure out how I can make £1,000. Maybe even you want to make it easy. Maybe I just want to make £100. £100 without, let's say, working for it. I think of a way to make £100. Maybe I'll buy something, sell it. Maybe I'll rent something, rent it out again. You know what I mean? Simple things like that. If it's a relationship, maybe you just want to go on one day. Within the next month, try to go on one day. If it's a harmonious relationship with your family, maybe you just want to have a family movie night or a date night with your family. Just simple things like that. So I've given some tips on mindset and I've given a practical exercise. This one is just another bit of advice that you can kind of take on, and I feel like most people can relate to, is to stop taking in what other people think about you. Like, you need to, first of all, you need to take control of your own thoughts, but that's like a whole nother topic of video. An easy thing which affects absolutely everybody. Everybody cares about what people think. Even me, I say I don't care what anyone thinks. Like, everybody cares, because, you know what I mean, we're social animals, like, we're social people, like, we interact with each other, so of course you care what other people think, but you can't allow what you think people will think to impact your life or your actions. So I'll give you an example. So when I wanted to create this YouTube channel, before I was thinking about, like, right, should I create a YouTube channel? Right, should I do it? Should I not? Should I do it? Should I not? Your mind has got a funny way of thinking of the absolute worst case scenario. Anytime you think of doing something you're kind of scared of doing. So for me, I'll be honest, when I was thinking, right, should I create a YouTube channel? My mind was like, bro, like, who are you to create a YouTube channel? Or people are gonna be like, bro, why are you creating a YouTube channel? People are like, what are you talking about, bro? Like, shut up. Like, obviously, I created a video, I put it out there. Most people told me they liked it. Like, people was like, right, I rate this. Obviously, everyone's talking about the angles and that. But my worst case scenario, what I thought people would say, or it didn't happen. Like, it just didn't happen. And obviously, I had to get over that to actually do it. But that's just the way life is. So imagine I kept thinking, oh, right, people are gonna say, why is Q doing a YouTube channel? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that? And I never created it. Imagine what, bro, like, imagine all the people that gave me shout-outs, or like, bro, like, I rate your team, bro, like, bro, that was a really good video. I would have never got any of that, and I wouldn't be doing something that I kind of enjoy doing. So what I'm basically saying is, anything you want to do, or you're thinking of doing, or you want to start doing, or you're doing, you can't let what you think, because it's not even what other people think, it's what you think other people are going to think influence your actions. You get what I'm trying to say? So if you want to start a business, you want to start an Instagram, a TikTok, a YouTube, or maybe even you want to go for a certain type of job where you think people like, right, like, why, or you want to study something, you think, like, don't pay attention to what you think people are going to think. Just, you know what I mean? Use your own better judgment. Like, this is why I say things like reading, writing, and meditation are very key, because there are times in solitude where you kind of just get to spend time with your mind. So let me give you a quote. He who does not write or meditate only expresses his thoughts through the mask he uses to interact with the people around him. Do you like it? I made it up myself, innit? But basically, what I mean by that is, if you don't spend any time in isolation just thinking about your thoughts, then you never really get to realize what you think on certain topics. And basically what I'm saying is, let's say the only time you talk about a certain subject, maybe it's your dreams or what you're working on, is when you're talking with your friends, then it's not the real you. And I'm not saying like you're fake. The person you are when you interact with your friends is a different you from when you interact with your intimate partner. It's a different you when you interact with your family. It's a different you when you're by yourself. And the most authentic you, I'd hope, is when you're by yourself. So you need to spend time actually thinking about what you want to do, where you want to be, where you want to go. Like, if you don't do it by yourself, then the only time you actually talk about it is when you're talking about to other people. When you speak with other people, they naturally, whether you know it or not, or you like it, you care, they influence your thoughts. Like, if I say, right, like, I'm Mandem, you know what? I wanna write poetry one day, and every man says, right, that's moist. Everyone says, what? That's poetry. Like, why you write poetry for? Right, like, I'm gonna go back and think, right, poetry's moist, so I'll never write poetry. Do you get it? But if you spend time with yourself and you honestly think, you thought, you wrote, you're like, do you know what? One day I want to write poetry, and you've done this all alone by yourself, and you've confirmed this what you want to do, then now you're not going to allow outside influence to affect what you want to do. I've gone a roundabout, long way, basically saying, you have to not let other people's thoughts or opinions impact what you want to do, because you'll never be happy. You know what I'm saying? People's opinions, they're like, you know what I mean, they're far and few in between. Like, people are always going to talk about this, that, but it's fleeting. So you're going to allow fleeting conversations or thoughts to impact like what you really want to do with your life. Like, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's your life, only you can live it. So don't let other people's, or what you think other people is going to think, to influence it.
Yo people, I'm back in the car. I ain't changed up. But listen, I just wanted to record an outro video for this. I just hope you get what I'm trying to say. Obviously, as I said, everything's a journey. I'm working, trying to get my ideas more colloquial, concise. And you get yo, but basically, I'm thinking of, I'm going to do weekly vlogs as well. So that way, because I like to talk and I'm quite, not unstructured, but
I can go here. But with a video, if I'm trying to be informative, I want to be quite clear cut, get the information so you understand what I'm trying to say without getting confused. So if I start doing weekly vlogs, I can talk about, like, for example, my accountant, like my head's spinning. Like, there's things I just know now that people don't know, and instead of you making mistakes I can just let you know, like, right, if you got a small business, you're starting a little something, like different things like that. Like, in a week to week, I do a lot of stuff. So if I just vlog, talk about what I learned this week, because there's always an insight. In this actual video, obviously I called it, see, that's what I got to work on that as well. I talk way too much slang. I need to get the Queen's English in my mouth. But in this video, I was speaking about how to take control of your life. That's quite a big topic, and I could probably make a whole series about it, but I tried to compress some good tips into a short YouTube video. So anything you don't get or sounds a bit, I'm on socials, just message me, ask me, I'll clarify it. But if you got good, take it in. If you're a bit unsure of what I said, I'll probably clarify later. But I just wanted to give that out. So love.